This is Hank Hennegraaff, president of the Christian Research Institute and host of the Bible Answer Man radio broadcast. On the Bible Answer Man broadcast, we get many different kinds of calls, but there are others who claim the sacred name of Christ, who are deeply disturbed about what Christianity is all about. Our next caller demonstrates that the confusion runs the spectrum of the ages. A young girl named Sarah, 11 years of age, is up next. In Virginia, listening on WAVA. Hi, Sarah.
Hi.
How are you?
Fine. My question was about the second commandment.
Yes.
Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likenesses of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the waters underneath. Under the earth.
Yes.
Sorry. What does that mean?
But what it means is that God commanded that we don't make any carved images as objects of worship. Israel, of course, lived amongst other very pagan nations, and those pagan nations used to carve images of gods, and they believed that those images had special power, and so they worshipped those images. And God said to Israel, don't do that. Worship the one true God. Yes.
But doesn't it say clearly, don't make any images or likenesses? Likenesses like a picture. It's like tamunach or something like that. In Hebrew, it means picture. And my dad's Israeli, and tamunach means picture in Hebrew.
Yes.
So if you could read Hebrew in the old version, it would tell you that you shouldn't make any pictures, right?
Well, no, that's really not what it means. See, the people of God were forbidden to worship other gods or images that symbolized other gods. The prohibition or the warning that God gives is against using images as idols. Okay? That's really important to understand, Sarah. You can't use those images as idols. So let's say that your dad had a picture of you in his wallet. As long as he did not worship that as an idol, there would be nothing wrong. In fact, it would be right for him to carry the picture of you in his wallet.
Yeah, but it doesn't, if it says like almost clearly that don't do that. It says don't make...
Yeah, but see what it says clearly, Sarah, is do not bow down to them, do not serve them. And that's what the pagan nations were doing. They were bowing before images and idols, and they were giving their devotion to them. And there's another thing I can tell you about that too, Sarah. How old are you, by the way?
I'm 11.
You're 11. Well, I got kids your age. And here's the thing my kids say to me sometimes. I say, Johnny or David or Hank, I could go through 8, but I won't take that time. I love you more than anything in the whole world. And you know what my kids say to me?
What?
No, you don't. You love God more. And that's exactly right. And they want me to love God more, because if I love God more, I'm going to love them properly. And so while I love my children and I cherish those children, I always have to put my love for God first. And when anything replaces our love for God, whether it's golf or kids or anything else, that has become an object of our worship.
Well, see, my thing is, Satan disguises himself to make him look like God, to make him I'm like an imitation.
Yes.
It's like an imitation of God. It's like an image. And when we do that, it's like we're imitating something that's God created.
Yes, that's true. The thing that the Bible is saying is we should not bow down, serve them, or worship them. And so what's really important is that you always read a text in context. So the problem is when you make something an object of worship, and that's what Exodus chapter 20 is talking about in the second commandment.
And
does that make sense to you, Sarah? I don't feel like I quite convinced you.
Nope.
Thanks for being honest. But look, otherwise we would not be able to have imagination. right? Because in our minds we create pictures, or we wouldn't have to have any artwork of any kind, or like I said, photographs.
But it's like God created the heavens and the earth in the beginning, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And it's like we are taking what God created and drawing it down on a piece of paper to make it look like what God created. Yeah, and it's like it's a graven image. It's a graven. It's a likeness. It's
But let's think for a second. You're very, very smart, obviously, and you're probably pretty talented artistically too. And you might sit there one day and start drawing a picture of what you're seeing outside. You're seeing the beautiful sunset, or you're seeing maybe a little lamb standing on a hill, or a dog or a cat, and you start to draw that. Now, there's nothing wrong with that unless you would take what you have made and said, instead of worshiping God, I'm going to worship the picture that I have made instead of the real thing.
And what about medicine?
What about medicine?
We practically worship it because we use that instead of God, because to make ourselves like it's like a graven image of God's hand doing something.
Yeah, but it's not like we take medicine and worship it more than God. What we do is appreciate the God that gave us all of these various means for our body to heal itself. Sometimes, if you have a plague, penicillin comes in very handy, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And we thank God that He has given us those means. And we also thank God that He has given us the power within our own body. The body constructed by God and developed in such a way that you can cut your finger and you put a little bandage around it, and a little while later, it's healed. And it isn't healed.
Now, Hank?
Yeah.
Let me get this something straight here. God heals.
Yes.
And why are we going to a doctor? God's our physician.
Because God ordains the means as well as the ends, and God uses the doctor as the means to heal us. If you break your leg, don't you want to go see a doctor?
No.
You don't?
Nope.
Sarah, come on. What do you want to do, walk around with a broken leg?
I'd ask God to heal it.
But God can use a doctor to set a splint on that leg and put a cast on it or whatever is necessary so that leg will heal perfectly.
But why would we go to a doctor when we have God as our physician?
Well, God, why do you eat?
Why do I eat?
When God is the bread of life.
Because you have to eat in the flesh.
Well, yes, but there are things that you have to do in the real world in which you live too.
Yeah,
I mean, do you brush your teeth?
Yeah.
Well, why brush your teeth?
King also, his feet had a disease on it.
Yeah, but just a second, Sarah. Why do you brush your teeth?
To clean my mouth.
Okay, and you're using sort of medicine there.
I want to get back to King Asa.
Yeah, but I want to stay with this for just a second, Sarah. Okay.
All right.
Okay, because I don't want you flipping all over the place on me here. You're a very, very smart girl. Okay, I'll hand you that, but I don't want you slipping by me on this one. You have fluoride in that toothpaste, don't you?
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, and that's sort of like a medicine for your teeth, isn't it?
But there's also fluoride in water.
Yeah, and that's kind of that's used as a medicine for your teeth. Yeah, but God didn't put the fluoride in it.
Yeah, so?
So oftentimes that's artificially put in there so that you're not going to have problems with your teeth.
Yeah, okay. Can I get back into King Asa?
Okay. Go ahead.